Women rarely regret losing a man due to his actions in the immediate moment. The true regret manifests when they grasp what he was evolving into, when they come to realize that the trajectory he was on is no longer a path they can follow. Loss is not merely about what is taken away at once. It's about the slow realization that dawns over time. A woman doesn't fear losing a man who's fully understood, a man who's predictable, stagnant, or overly available. This is comfort, not value. However, when a man is constantly evolving, perpetually growing, and stepping into larger opportunities, he becomes an undeniable force. Losing such a force isn't just losing a relationship. It's the loss of the very gravity that once drew her into something greater. If you aspire to be the kind of man who leaves an indelible mark, one that lingers in her memory for years, listen closely as we break this down. Point 1. Constantly elevate yourself. Too many men plateau. They reach a certain point, get comfortable, and cease to push further. That is where they lose their edge. The men who remain on a woman's mind are those who never stop evolving. Whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, or financially, the man who keeps leveling up doesn't just command respect while she's with him. He makes her look back one day and realize that she left when he was only just beginning to blossom. And that's what stings the most. When she witnesses you climbing, becoming something far greater than she ever imagined, the loss is not just of what she had, but of what could have been. She'll regret not being part of your journey as you ascend, a future she will never have access to again. But this only works if your growth is authentic. If you are upgrading yourself for your own sake, not to impress her. Women are perceptive, and if you're merely pretending to progress, it will be transparent. However, when your growth is genuine, when you're expanding for reasons that serve you and you alone, it becomes irrefutable. That's when she recognizes that you weren't just a fleeting chapter in her life. You were a movement, and she walked away too soon. Point 2. Master your emotions. Most men react emotionally. They respond to every message, every shift in energy, and every change in mood. The men who are hardest to forget are those who remain calm, unaffected by drama, unshaken by petty disputes, and unmoved by circumstances beyond their control. A man who has command over his emotions is rare. He doesn't chase, he doesn't plead, he doesn't crack under pressure. He understands that his energy is a privilege, not a right, and not everyone is worthy of access to it. When a woman expects him to argue, to prove his worth, or to beg for another chance, and he does none of that, it creates a sense of unease. The most unsettling thing is when a man simply walks away. No explanation, no emotional outbursts, no need for validation. When she realizes that his peace is undisturbed by her absence, she begins to question whether she ever truly had the influence over him that she believes she did. Point 3. Become irreplaceable. Are you just the guy, or are you an experience? If you are merely the guy, then you can be replaced. She can move on tomorrow. But if you are an experience, someone who brings depth, challenge, adventure, and fresh perspectives, you become irreplaceable. She may meet other men, but none will make her feel the way you did. None will spark the same thoughts, create the same memories, or challenge her in the same ways. When you introduce her to new ways of thinking, when you push her beyond the surface level, you make her grow. This is what leaves an indelible imprint on her mind. The regret begins when she realizes that every other connection feels dull and routine compared to the one she had with you. Most men operate on the surface, avoiding deep conversations and never challenging her. The men who leave a lasting legacy, however, make her question things, get inside her mind, and create extraordinary moments. These men are irreplaceable, And when she realizes that she lost something rare, that regret doesn't fade. It lingers and deepens. Point 4, have a life that's yours, not hers. Many men revolve their entire existence around a woman, adjusting their plans, goals, and even their personality to keep her happy. In doing so, they lose themselves. But a man who remains in a woman's mind is the one who never makes her the center of his universe. He has his own passions, his own mission, his own non-negotiables. He doesn't ask, "What do you want to do?" He tells her, "This is what I'm doing." If she walks away, he keeps moving. No begging, no convincing. Women don't regret leaving a man who needs them. They regret leaving a man who allowed them to be part of his journey. And when she realizes that you were always fine without her, that's when it hits the hardest. The moment you become the man who doesn't revolve around her is the moment she starts wanting to orbit around you. Women don't crave men who cling to them. They crave men who are so secure in their own identity that being included in their lives feels like a privilege. Point 5, disappear and let silence work. Here's where most men fail. When she pulls away, they chase, they text, they try to explain, and they seek closure. The strongest move, however, is to disappear, not just from her life, but from the version of yourself that needed her validation. No cryptic posts, no checking her stories, no indirect messages. You vanish. At first, she may feel relief, convincing herself she made the right decision. But as weeks turn into months, something shifts. The absence of your energy, the fact that she no longer knows what's happening in your life, starts to weigh on her. When she looks back, she doesn't see the man she left behind. She sees the man she lost, someone who's grown into something far beyond what she imagined. And that's when regret hits, because now she knows the door is closed. The man she once had access to is gone, and the life he's building is a future she will never be part of. Understand this. The pain of losing you isn't about the breakup itself. It's about the realization that you were never stagnant, that you were always on a path towards something greater, and now that path no longer includes her. So don't waste your energy trying to prove your worth. Just become someone so rare, so valuable, and so in motion that losing you isn't merely the end of a relationship. It's the loss of a future that can never be replaced.